It's update time. Welcome to American Defender. You might be able to hear it in my voice, I don't know, but forgive me, I'm sick. Okay. Uh, Hopefully the NyQuil kicks in here soon and I can go lay down, but until then I thought I'd just do a couple updates on a couple of guns and talk about the music and what's coming with that, alright? So, I had someone ask me to do an update on this guy. Your beloved shotgun that you like to watch, and mine too, the Centurion BP12. Don't have a lot to update. I have one thing, really, maybe two, but one really important thing. Let me ask you a question. How many rounds do you think a Turkish shotgun is capable of shooting in its life? So what do you think the lifespan is of a Turkish shotgun? Some folks out there will say it depends. Some folks will say 500 rounds. Some will say 1,000. Some will say 3,000. Some will say 5,500. Myself, with this shotgun, I originally thought, 5,000 rounds or so, maybe 6. If I could get that out of a $150 bullpup 12 gauge like this, I would be doing okay. All right, and let's be honest. Most people out there that are buying a shotgun like this will never put that many rounds through their shotgun. All right. Well, ever since I bought this shotgun, I have been keeping my log on it. All right, and it's a really simple log the way I take it. It's BP12, number 3. I fired 100 rounds, and a bird shot or whatever, and I just write it down in a little book when I get home. They keep in my safe, and that's how I keep my round count on new guns when I buy them. I remember I bought this one used, but it wasn't used very much. It may have had 100 rounds through it. I don't know the round count through it when I bought it. All right, so I basically started at 0 with it. But I've put over 10,000 rounds through it in the 3-4 years that I've had it. All right, and I haven't had any kind of breakage. Nothing. I am very surprised at how long and how well this thing has turned out to last. All right. Inside of it, it's got wear, but it ain't a lot of wear. It's got the shaving, which that stopped a long time ago. The marks for that are there. Because again, this is a 2020 model prior to them putting the steel insert into the receiver. But I mean, it's gone 10,090 rounds. Basically 10,100. Okay, it's gone that, and it's just trucking right along. All right. I have a theory on this, why it's done what it's done, how it's done. 75% of the ammo I've shot out of it has all been 100 round bulk pack stuff, bird shot, standard velocity, standard load, nothing, super hard kicking or anything like that. Some of it has been, though, some pretty stout stuff. Brennecke loads, Turkey 3-inch Magnum loads, slugs, 3-inch slugs, 1.25 ounce, 1.5 ounce. I've fired a 2-ounce slug out of this actually once. 10 of them. One outing. And I don't remember who made those, but they were 2 ounce. They were 3 inches, 2-ounce slug, and they were a hollow point. And those had some serious stink on them. All right, it was a 2-ounce slug moving 1,380 feet per second. All right, that had some stink on it. All right, and yes, I changed the piston for those. Nothing's broken. Nothing's malfunctioned, nothing, no warranty, nothing. I've not had a problem with it. All right. And I did eventually find out how to do the deal for the ambidextrous mag release. I'll do that in another video when I'm feeling better. And I also figured out how to do the quick release pins for the stock so we could get rid of the screws. I figured that out too. All right. The bad lever, or good lever as I call it on here, the bolt release relocation kit thing that I came up with, it's got about 3,500 rounds on it now, and it's running fine. Yeah, still stuck with the zip ties because just been, too distracted to go out and buy a little, half-inch thick chunk of aluminum or 3/4-inch thick chunk of aluminum and mill it out real quick and slide it down on here and hit it with a set screw. But I'll get to it eventually. So, yeah, that's really all I got to say about it. I'm sorry there's not more, but it's a runner. The damn thing's a runner. It's dependable. It's reliable. It's the best $150 I ever spent. If someone said, yeah, you got to use that shotgun, and we're going to give you all the ammo you need and everything, but it's you versus 100 gorillas, I'd say line them up. All right, because this is gonna be over for them real quick. All right. Another little tidbit of information that I figured out. Speaking of Turkish shotguns, I have learned that there is a company. My dog might hack here, so you have to forgive him. He's sick too. He's where I got sick. Okay. I have learned that there is a company out there that is working on a binary trigger for these Turkish shotguns, for like the VR80, VR60 KRX, and even these bullpups. Okay. There's also another company that is working on an FRT for the Turkish shotguns. I would be interested in doing a binary more than I would FRT, but the second it hits, I'm going to look into it and see if I can somehow get it to work on here. I might have to drill a hole or something in the stock to make it work. I'd have to look into that just for the safety switch, because the safety on this is way up here, and I'd have to put it back here. All right, so I mean, I'd leave this one alone. All this does is block the trigger, so that one would stay put. But in the future, when that drops, when that happens, and I guess they're only supposed to be like $35-40. That's the other great thing about those binaries that I learned about. If I find out they do it, or when they go on sale or whatever, we might try to stuff one in here, because I think that would be really fun to have on here. Okay, it's definitely proven to me that it could handle the abuse, over the long term, to put something like that in there. So now the next one for my air gunners. I know a lot of you feel abandoned, and I'm sorry. I wanted to do an update on the SK19. I haven't talked about it much, mostly because the views on the videos that I had up kind of leveled out. And I wasn't really, nobody was watching any of the videos anymore, so I thought, okay, you guys aren't interested. With the SK19, again, this is 25 cal, semi-auto, full auto air rifle. Okay. This little sucker surprised me too. And for some reason, I'm more surprised that the SK19 has done the round count that it has done than I am of what the 12 gauge did. All right. You're looking at an SK19 that I have never changed the seals in. It does not leak. All right. I've owned it now for about 4.5, maybe 5 years. Between 4 and 5 years. I bought it secondhand from a gun shop in which I will not mention their name here in Arizona. We have more than one here now in Arizona. So, I bought it from them, and I always wanted one. I always thought this was like a cool looking air rifle, you know. And the features it had I really liked. I don't know how many rounds went through it before, again, like the other one, before I got it. All right. But if I was to tell you how many rounds went through it since I've had it, all the testing, pesting, hunting, and things I've done with it, you're going to be impressed. Because I've put 125,000 rounds through this little air gun. 125,000. No, not 1,250. I would do that sometimes in one video. 125,000 video or pellets have gone through this. Slugs, 50 grain bullets. You know, we've ran this thing wide open on the regulator, full 220 bar, just jamming them down that barrel. And all these years later, all those rounds later, it's still just as accurate as it was. I haven't had to change a single seal, but I have had 3 things happen to it that are kind of annoying. All right. I love the air gun very dearly, but there are 3 things that have either malfunctioned, broke, or become an annoyance. The number one thing that has really irritated me about this gun is this. The butt pad. Notice that I've got it off of here and it's all like covered in stuff. That's because I had to glue it back together for like the 4th or 5th time. Alright. This right here is one of the Achilles heels of this gun. And the reason it's one of the weaknesses is because it has this little added section down at the bottom to act as a foot when you have it up on the bipod. The problem is with this thing is it catches on stuff. Even when you're shooting it, it catches on stuff. And they have it designed in such a way that this end of the butt pad sticks out further than where you put your shoulder. So you end up bringing this thing up to your shoulder and you end up pushing in on this, and it eventually snaps and breaks right there. Now this one's broken here and up here. All right, you can kind of see where it's broken on there. It's broke right there and down there. Okay, I got my black epoxy on there. I started whittling out a wooden replacement for it that I'm actually going to cast, sand cast into some aluminum and then make an aluminum version myself. This little guy right here, this has been probably the biggest pain in the butt about this gun. You know, I've broken it just sitting in my safe. It's broken. Pulling it out of the safe catches on some of my other guns or stuff and snap. You know, pain in the butt. And I didn't have the gun very long before this started to break. I only had it about 8 months, and then this started to break down here. All right, so that's something that really needed to be improved upon. The reason it's so weak is because it's just a piece of rubber over a really thin piece of plastic on the inside. This should have been aluminum. For what you're paying for this air gun, brand new, you know, $2,300. It should have been aluminum on the inside. All right, but no, it's plastic. All right. So if it was aluminum, it would never break, and I wouldn't be sitting here talking about this. But this is one of them. Okay, that is one. Next, this also happened fairly quickly with it. Right there, that magnet, as you can see, it cracked up, busted up. I think I've talked about that before. I never replaced it because, I mean, it's not that important to me. But It is something to mention. And then my selector lever. And I've looked on YouTube to try to find a solution to this, and I can't find one. So if you know one, let me know. Okay, so it'll lock and click into safe position, but it's supposed to come up and lock in this position and then click into that position, okay? But it doesn't do that anymore, all right? Semi-auto and full auto still work, but there's no click. It's like the detent or whatever for those positions is stuck or worn out or something. I don't know. I've taken the little cover off the other side. I've gotten in here. I've taken it all apart and, you know, looked at things, looked for wear, broken pieces, broken parts. Nothing. I couldn't find anything that was wrong. So, you know, your guess is as good as mine as far as what's going on in there. If you have a fix for that, let me know what it is. All right, because it's annoying. It doesn't stop the gun from firing or shooting or using those positions, but what it will do is when you put it into semi sometimes like this, it'll just drop right on down into full auto. All right, so and that can be annoying when I'm out at some of the farms and stuff that I go to with this, when I'm pesting and doing pest control for them, taking out pigeons and rats. You know, it can be annoying or surprise you, you know, because you don't realize, you know, you're sitting there in the dark and that thing falls over into full auto and you line up on a rat and you're expecting just to hear a ting, you know, and instead you're, you know, it throws you for a loop. I mean, it ensures the rat's dead, but I mean, it throws you for a loop. So, I mean, that's it. That's the problem. And I've noticed all the problems I've had with it have all been back here. I've had nothing wrong with it up here. Barrel's fine, tank's fine, trigger's fine, grip and all that. Even my old Vortex scope and the rail and all that's fine. I had no problems with that. None of that's moved or done anything. I've only cleaned it a couple of times. You know, fully cleaned it and got in there and lubed a lot of things back up. I usually make a habit of running a swab down the barrel about every 550 to 1,000 rounds. I'll swab the barrel and I'll pull it out. I've also never changed the seals in it. They're the same seals that are in it now that were in it when I bought it, and it doesn't leak. So whatever seals they're using, fantastic seals. All right. I've never had to do a reseal on it, and I still don't need to because it still holds air. All right, it doesn't leak. It doesn't leak down over time. It's fantastic. You know, I paid a lot of money for it, but you know, the big picture of the gun is it's absolute fine piece of equipment. It is top of the line. It is, you know, great. It is awesome. It is, you know, cream of the crop. You know, it is top tier, if you will. All right, it's gun snob territory kind of stuff. But all that right there at the same point in time is like, come on, you know. It's just annoying. It's just an annoyance. That's all it is. All right, still waiting for this thing to dry so I can bolt it back on there and break it again in another month. But yeah, that's the SK19. Don't get this confused with that other imposter that's out there. All right, they're not the same gun. All right, they're not the same quality level. The LCS is better. The LCS is higher quality. The LCS is the original. The other one is an imposter, made in China. Okay, this one's made in North Carolina, American made. All right. So, well, if I'm going to be correct, the other one's partially made in China, partially made in Hong Kong, and assembled in Wyoming. Okay, so this one is 100% American. All right, American, except for the regulator. The regulator in this is from Hong Kong. It's the same regulator that's in the other one. They're the same gun. How the other one exists, I don't know. All right, but I think you guys know the one I'm talking about. If not, I'm not going to say its name because it's not worth saying. So that's the air gun. You know, that's an update on it. I told you guys a long time ago that this stuff happened with it. I would tell you. And, well, here we are. You know, not a lot has happened to it, but stuff has happened. So what about the music? All right. Well, I went back into my studio today. I've been kind of avoiding it for the last few months. I've been really doing the AI music thing, working on my lyric structure, trying to get a gist for song structure, melodies, things like that. And I've been using the AI as a tool for that, and letting you guys hear what the AI comes up with the lyrics that I write. Yes, I write all the lyrics. Okay, 100% of the lyrics are written by me, except for some of the very, very, very early stuff. Like Dark Shadows wasn't written by me. That was AI. I just told AI to write a song about hunting, you know, chomos. All right, that's what that song's about, is hunting chomos, because, you know, they all need a good dose of pedosilin, which is a 9mm. All right, but either way, so I've been using it as a tool, and I'm ready to start recording again. Like here, I'll give you a little sniff. It ain't gonna sound right on acoustic. All right, but here's kind of a little part of one of them. So there's a little part of one of them that I've been messing around with, and it's inspired by Randy Rhoads. All right, so just a little sniff. All right, of what's coming. Sounds a lot better on the electric guitar, but I've got my drum set rolling now, and I got 2 songs for sure coming out. And I have decided ultimately, when I'm done with everything, I will be assembling a 10 to 12 song CD, because I prefer CDs to digital shit, for everybody, so that they can, you know, purchase the music, and I can use the money to put back in the channel. It's a way I can fund the channel without having to go through SnoozeTube. And also on that CD will be versions of the songs that will not be up open to the public on YouTube. There's a new version of Tension that I've already written and recorded. Straight Doggin' has already been done too, an improved version on that one. The Judgment Part 2. There's been a few other songs that I've done. Accelerator. A lot of you guys like Accelerator. I don't know why, because I wrote that one day cleaning my carport, and I had been listening to way too much Static X. And so I was sitting there. I can't remember the name of the song that I was listening to. It's the one in the video where they got the girls doing the roller derby. What is that called? Destroyer. All right. I had been listening to that, and so I was out there sweeping away at the carport, and I'm like, I'm going to do a version of that, and I'm going to make it about carburetors and hot rods. You know, that's what that song's about, is hot rods and carburetors. That's why it's called Accelerator, you know, accelerator pedal. And so I just came in and recorded it real quick, and a lot of you guys liked it, and that's the beginning of what I call the Cookie Monster voice. All right. And a lot of you guys like it, so I'm going to keep doing it. So I got a lot of music coming. And I guess with that, I'm going to head on out of here. So thank you for watching. God bless you. Help the channel out by hitting like on this video. That's the most important thing you can do for me right now. And if you want to, you can subscribe. Hit the notification bell. And check your notification settings, because YouTube has a tendency of shutting those off on everybody without anybody knowing it. And yeah, God bless you. God bless America. I will see you all on the flip. Happy Memorial Day. Bye-bye now.